Hi everyone. Today we will see directional terms that used in animal anatomy with three subsections or with three main points. The first one, definition, how you can define directional terms. The second one, importance, what is the importance of using directional terms in animal anatomy. Finally, the third one, we will address each directional terms one by one that is used in animal anatomy. So follow me until the end. But if you are new for this channel, don't forget to subscribe the channel. When we come to definition, directional terms are the terms or words that describe location or position, orientation, and the relationship of different body parts in animals. These directional terms are mostly arranged in pairs in the opposite senses. The second point is importance. The importance of using directional terms in animal anatomy. 1. To understand the structure of an animal body. 2. Accurately describe the part of the body relative to other parts. The third and the main point of using directional terms in animal anatomy is to make a uniform, standard, and clear way of communication among the students, veterinarian, biologist, researcher, and anyone who can working with animals. Therefore, knowing directional term in animal anatomy is very important to describe part of the body accurately, to understand the structure of the animal body, and to make a uniform communication among professionals. Now, let us talk about each directional term that used in animal anatomy one by one. The first one, cranial, or we call it ventral. This refers to toward the head of the animal. That means the part or organs of the animal that located closer to the head. For example, heart is cranial to liver. That means heart is more closer to head when we compare with liver. The opposite of cranial is caudal, or we call it posterior. This refers to toward the tail of the animals. That means the part or the organ of the animal that is located more closer to the tails. For example, stomach is caudal to the head. The other directional term is a dorsal. This refers to toward the back or the top of the animal. That means the organ or the part of the animal closer to the top of the animals. Example, spine is dorsal to the rib cage. The opposite of dorsal is ventral. This refers to toward the belly of the animals or away from vertebrae. For example, udder is most ventral part of the body. That means udder is located at where? At the ventral part of the body. Directional term that used on the head of the animal. Those are caudal and rostral. As we mentioned earlier, caudal is toward the rear of the animal, whereas rostral is a directional term that describes or refers toward the nose or muzzle of the animal. For example, eyes are rostral to the ears. Now let us talk about the directional term that is used for limbs. The first one, proximal. This refers to the parts of the leg that closer to the point of attachment or origin of the body. The opposite of proximal is distal. This describes or refers away from the point of attachment or away from the body. For example, elbow is distal to the shoulder joints. The other a pair of directional terms that used for the limbs are medial and lateral. This is not only used for the limbs, we can use for other parts of the body, but the way we can describe is different. When we use for other body parts, medial describe or refers to toward the middle of the body. That means the part or the organ closer to the middle line of the body. Whereas lateral, the opposite of medial, away from the middle line of the body. But when we use for a limb, medial is describe the inner side of the limb, whereas lateral is to describe the outer side of the limbs. Therefore, medial and lateral directional terms are used for describing bodies and limbs. The other directional term that is used for a limb is dorsal. Remember, as we mentioned earlier, for the body, dorsal is toward the back or the top of the animal. But when we use for the limbs, it describes the front side of the limbs, used for both front and hind limb. The opposite of dorsal that is used only for the front limb is palmar. Palmar is similar with our palm. That refers or describes the caudal surface of the forelimb or the front limb distal to the elbow joints. As we mentioned earlier, when we use dorsal for the limbs, it describes or refers the front side of both front and hind limbs. The opposite of dorsal that only used for the hind limb is plantar. This refers or describes the caudal surface of the hind limb below the hook joint. I hope you understand what is directional terms and the importance of using directional term in animal anatomy, in addition to different directional terms that's used in animal anatomy and how you can use it. If you have questions, comments and suggestions, leave me under comment box. Still, if you are not subscribed our channel, don't forget to subscribe the channel.